What's up, guys? It's Mion. I am back with another video, and today I want to discuss WrestleMania 40 Night 1 main event and what I think it could be. Not necessarily what it should be, what I think it could be. And it's not the match that you're thinking of. Because, well, before we get into that, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on future videos and streams. And now, segueing back into this, I do believe that there are three options on the table right now for what the Mania Night 1 main event could be. Those being CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, Punk being the Royal Rumble winner, uh, because Cody Rhodes gets screwed over by the Bloodline in the Rumble match, and then Cody wins Elimination Chamber. Um, Roman versus Rock, which that should be happening at Elimination Chamber in Australia. Don't at me because you know I'm right. I don't give a damn that you think it's a bigger match over Roman Cody too. I don't care. First and foremost, at this stage of Rock's career, in the shape that he's in, he can get in the best shape of his life, and I do not know if this match will be any good because Rock hasn't wrestled in a long fucking time. So that's all I'll say there. And the third option is the very teased feud of Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. Now, that would probably involve the winning of the Royal Rumble for the women's side. However, if I'm not mistaken, there were some articles recently talking about how Becky Lynch said she wants to go in Elimination Chamber because, well, she's done everything else. So, you know what? I say let her go do that. Let her go win the Elimination Chamber match and then go and take on Rhea for the title at WrestleMania. So then, where does that lead you? Well, in my opinion, the match that I think should be considered for the Mania Night 1 main event, Bayley winning the Royal Rumble against Io Sky for the WWE Women's title. And I know what you're thinking here. What the fuck? Well, let me put it to you like this. Damage Control is going to implode, i.e., Bayley's getting kicked out. It has been heavily teased. We know it's coming. It's a question of how do you do it. And I think they're going to go the Evolution route where Randy Orton had won the title, gets kicked out of Evolution. Bayley's going to win the Royal Rumble, gets kicked out of Damage Control. And Damage Control rebrands to the new Kabuki Warriors. Because, of course, you have the originals, Asuka and Kairi, and then you add Io to that mix with Dakota managing. Because Dakota's still out recovering from ACL surgery. Speaking of which, Godspeed to Cora Jade. Tore ACL over the weekend at a house show. Wishing you the best. But back to the story at hand. So I think what happens, like I said, Bayley wins the Rumble, which she's never done before. So, this is a good thing for her. Finally gets that Rumble victory. Wins the Rumble. Damage Control comes into the ring to celebrate with her, and then immediately turn on her. Bayley turns face. Damage Control, or now the Kabuki Warriors, be are solidified as heels. I mean, they kind of already were, but now even more so. And you drive the point home that they're blaming the thing with Damage Control is that when when Bianca beat Becky in the opening match of SummerSlam 2022, mind you, the first pay per view or premium live event after Triple H took over WWE when Vince left. And then, so they have that match. Becky gets hurt, finishes the match. Bianca wins. They hug afterward. Becky exits the ring, and then Bianca's in the ring by herself, and then Bayley's music hits. Like, that was a massive shock. And then Dakota's music hit. And then Io's music hit. And my whole thing with that is what we ended up seeing afterward was outside of Clash in the Castle, where you had the 3-on-3 match, Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa against Damage Control, where Bayley and her squad won, with Bayley pinning Bianca. Outside of that, Bayley could not win for shit against Bianca. I don't, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I think what should have happened was Bayley wins the title, Bianca gets it back from her at the next Premium Live event, and then you have one last match between the two of them at the following live event, Premium Live event. Throw some stipulation on top of it, and you go from there. Um, Now, granted, they did do the last woman standing match at in Saudi, which was good. Don't get me wrong, but Bayley just could not beat Bianca, and then it transitioned to where now Io was the one going after Bianca, in some sense, and then of course, as we know, unfortunately, Dakota had gotten hurt, and all this other stuff. So, um, you go to WrestleMania. You have the 3-on-3 match between Damage Control and Trish, Lita, and Becky, which Bayley literally accepted right in front of Io and Dakota without consulting them. And it's not the first time that Bayley's made a compulsive decision like that to the detriment of her teammates and herself. Um, and these are the sort of things that is eventually going to come back to bite Bayley. And you can kind of see now the way it's sort of transitioning is it looks more and more like Dakota's the one that's leading and Bailey's sort of on the outside looking in. And I would think Bailey knows it's coming, but in the standard way, it's you don't know, if that makes any sense. Um, my what I'm trying to say is damage control has gone on for so long. It it's funny because it's almost like the bloodline in a way where at first like you have this good idea and then with the bloodline it became Roman wins lol, Usos win lol, and then when Triple H took over, like yes, Roman and the Usos were both still winning, but there was now starting to become the story behind it and leading to things. And in a way, you're kind of getting that with damage control, and that started happening last year with Io going on to win Money in the Bank, and also previously having that match with Bianca in at Backlash in Puerto Rico, um, and Bailey's interference actually kind of costing Io in that match. So you have Io winning the Money in the Bank match, costing Bailey in the process, and then her cashing in, I believe, at SummerSlam, when Bianca, Charlotte, and Asuka face each other, and then Io winning the title, and then Bianca eventually gets a rematch, and then you have the match in Saudi where Kyrie came back, and then also Asuka joining Damage Control beforehand, and all this other stuff. It's it has built over the course of 2023 and really over the back half of it to where we're at now, where the implosion is happening. And I think it's a situation here where if Bailey's going down, she's going to take the group with her, i.e., WrestleMania. So now, with all of that rambling out of the way, what do I think is going to happen? So, what I think should happen is Bayley wins the Royal Rumble, and I've seen a lot of people say Bayley should win it. Again, Bayley's never won it before, so give her that. I agree with that, and it actually makes sense to do it because it should be her versus Io at Mania, and so you have that. Bayley gets kicked out, and Bayley essentially makes it her mission to destroy what she created. Even though damage control is no longer damage control, they're the Kabuki Warriors again. Um, she seeks to destroy them and take Io's title because Bayley hasn't held a title in a long time. And that's a thing that has to get brought up. The fact that Bayley hasn't held a title, I think, since 2020, back when she feuded with Sasha. Um, Obviously she went after Bianca won the title in 2021, and then feud ended prematurely because she got hurt training for the I Quit match at Money in the Bank that year, and then didn't come back until SummerSlam the next year. Um, Now Bailey's been all about being selfless and putting others over, which she's done a hell of a job of doing that for both Dakota and Io, with this team. It's just it feels like, they should have won more, especially, having Io and Dakota being multiple time tag champs, is, thrown in there as well. Um, but I think what happens is Bailey wins the Rumble, gets kicked out of Damage Control. Well, I've already gone over that multiple times. Essentially, from the Raw or SmackDown after Royal Rumble all the way up till Mania, Bailey makes it her point, you know, to, I guess, in a way, try to prove what she was trying to do from the get go, but also make the point that you can't kick me out. This is my group. And if you're going to kick me out, or, well, you have kicked me out, I'm taking you all out with me. So I apologize if that doesn't make any sense. If you read into it, I think you will understand what I'm trying to say. So what I think will happen at Mania, and again, the reason why I think it could be the main event match for night one is, again, women's Royal Rumble winner gets the main event spot. There you go. And also, if you do the story right, I absolutely believe it could be. I don't know if you can build it up to be like a Hell in a Cell type deal. I think that's more Punk and Rollins, in my opinion. But I think you can build this up to have a massive stipulation of some sort, not just for the match type, but also for the match itself. As in Io's title versus Bayley's career. I mean, when you think about it, I'm not saying that Bayley's going to leave anytime soon or retire anytime soon, and because I don't think she will. I still think she's got plenty of gas in her, for wrestling per se. But I think from the perspective of the Kabuki Warriors, they're going to view Bayley as weak, view her as a bad leader, and that's why Dakota's essentially become the de facto leader now, and they want to eliminate her because she could just never get it done when it mattered. And I absolutely believe they would goad her into putting her career on the line because, again, Bayley's been impulsive before with them. So, what makes you think that she wouldn't be impulsive with this? But she would also understand that if she loses, it's over. So, and by the way, I don't have Bayley losing either. I do believe Bayley will win. Um, I think on top of winning the title, you could throw in there that the group, disbands completely. But if you don't want to do that, I think you boil it down to title versus career. Bayley wins, she gets Io's title. If she loses, she's done. I think Bayley will win. Um, and there's another little wrinkle in there that once Bayley does get kicked out, she's gonna need backup to deal with Asuka and Io or Asuka and Kyrie, because again, Dakota's still out right now. So I think it's a pipe dream, but where that leads to would ideally be Mercedes and Trinity, well, aka Sasha and Naomi, returning. However, it doesn't look like Naomi's going to be a surprise return for the Rumble because she's still got a few more dates with TNA left, and everybody's saying that Mercedes is expected to go to AEW, and that talks broke down between her and WWE. So who the fuck knows there? Um, but in a perfect world, it would make sense to have Naomi and Sasha come back, join up with Bayley, and then you have Naomi and Sasha against Io, or sorry, against Asuka and Kairi earlier in the night, and then you do, like I said, Bayley and Io in the main event. As for the other matches I listed, because why not? I think you do beyond. I think Becky and Rhea would probably be on night two. Roman and Rock should open night one because of the fact of that. Honestly, just have them open it. Just get it out of the way as quickly as possible. Because again, I'm not sure it's going to be good. And then Punk and Rollins, you keep that on night one. I just don't know. I probably do it before the main event. That's my guess. But yeah, I apologize if some of my rambling didn't quite make sense. I think it makes a lot more sense in my head than I made it sound. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts down below. I wanted to get this video out there because I was thinking about it at work today, and I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? But yeah, let me know what you think down below, and I'll catch you on next time. Peace.